Hi, I was listening to the NVIDIA podcast and something dawned upon me. We are not thinking hard enough about the value that AI can add to our businesses. Most use cases I hear, especially from people who work on the intersection of business and technology, are really marginal innovation related use cases. Maybe write a better email with AI, do a summarization of accounts, cases, things like that. And that's all great. Those are very valid business value drivers. But I think what I'm hearing from the NVIDIA CEO and what's interesting about it is that the hardware and the AI computing power is going to increase enormously as we move forward. Because now AI is writing software to improve manufacturing, to do design, to do more research in a variety of different fields. When you bring that same kind of capability to business applications, how would that influence the way we do things? And my hypothesis is that if you look at any business application, you've got some user interface, you've got a set of business rules, typically codified in some kind of programming language, maybe rules in a database, and then you have your business information in databases, in files, and things like that. This middle tier of business rules is probably the one where there is significant opportunity to redo it. An example of that could be configure price quote softwares or CPQs, right? When you think of a complex product, you would want a CPQ so that you can configure different combinations of it. And you have rules around what you can buy with something else. So maybe you buy a computer and then you can buy an additional adapter. Very simple example of that. Today, CPQ tends to be a rather thorny problem for a vast majority of businesses for two reasons. One, it's just an inherently hard problem for the set of tools we have. Databases like structural rigidity, they like referential integrity. CPQs are trying to mimic real world that doesn't care about those things. So you may be able to buy a few different things. You may have exceptions based on regions. You may have exceptions based on channel partners, so on and so forth. But a lot of those exceptions make CPQs highly unscalable because they have to think about every possible permutation and combination and figure out if those are legit ones or not. With generative AI, can you just write those rules in plain English and run a CPQ? I have significantly larger token size available to me today, right? With Google Gemini, Anthropic Cloud, and some of these other ones, you could get 1 million tokens. That's a huge amount of token context, which means I can write a significantly large number of business rules around the product and related services and add-ons that can or cannot be sold. And I can literally send all of this every time with every request and get back a response that is in line with my business rules. Now, granted, we are a bit far away from this, but I don't think it's 10 years out. I actually think it's 2 to 5 years out. We will see an evolution of applications that are going to dramatically eliminate the way we are building business rules today. These are sort of grounding rules for CPQ or for making recommendations for upsell, for cross-sell. A lot of them, I just want to put it in plain English because my people know. They know if you bought product A, you are an interesting candidate for product B or C. If you bought product C and your utilization is less than 50% and you're an attrition risk, you may be a good candidate for me to downsell you another offering so that I still retain you as a customer. A whole lot of that logic is not rocket science. The rocket science complexity today is to encapsulate it in an information, is to encapsulate it in a software. And that is where generative AI can dramatically alter the course. We are at the crawl stage of where business software is today. And people who are going to get deeply engaged in it will find these kind of innovations and dramatically alter how applications are built, how competitive advantages are earned. So what does that mean for people like us? I think first and foremost, we need to just drop the skepticism around AI and actually really start using it. Most people I talk to are just involved in the discussion phase of it. They're not writing prompts. They're really not using chat GPTs or Google Bard or some of these other capabilities in their day-to-day. And they can benefit from that. I went on a trip recently and I used AI to actually plan it. I had to prompt it at least 10 times because it does take a lot of back and forth for AI to understand what I want, what places I want to see, suggest me nearby hotels, tell me the driving distance between them, and so on and so forth. But the idea that we internalize using AI the way we use Google search is significantly important, particularly to those who are in the business of business applications and technology. Curious to hear what you think. Thank you so much.